You have labor questions? They have answers. Bill Holfeld and Joe Maniscalco. Labor Press's Blue Collar Buzz.
Welcome back to Labor Press's Blue Collar Buzz here on AM 970 The Answer. I'm your host, Joe Maniscalco, senior editor at laborpress.org. With me is my co-host and great friend and iron worker expert and labor historian, Bill Holfeld.
Hey, Joe, I got to try to live up to my press clippings now.
You always do. You always do. Bill, we're gonna move on to segment 2, and we're gonna talk a little bit of politics. I know you're familiar with the Independent Democrats. It's a very strange and arcane situation where you have a bunch of Democrats in the legislature that are elected as Democrats, but actually caucus with the Republicans. And there's a group of challengers to that block, and we have one of them right now in the studio, and her name is Jasmine Robinson, and she's challenging for the District 23rd state senatorial seat. Jasmine, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, Jasmine, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
So, Jasmine, please introduce yourself. You know, people who don't know you, give a little bit of background. I understand that you're a newbie to politics. Talk about why you decided to jump in the race.
All right. Well, my name is Jasmine Robinson. For those that know me, they call me Jazzy. I grew up in the Bronx, and I moved to Staten Island when I was 17 years old. I grew up in a single-family household. It was just my mom and my 2 sisters. We didn't really have enough money after my parents' divorce, so basically I had to work and put myself through school, which I did, and I graduated with a degree in political science from the College of Staten Island. Since then, I've just been very politically involved. In Staten Island, I'm a member of Staten Island Democratic Association, which is the oldest and the most progressive group in Staten Island. I'm also a part of Staten Island Women Who March. We are a women's group, very progressive, very, very modern, and we're trying to change the narrative in Staten Island that it's Trump land, that it's conservatives, because it's not. The blue wave is coming to Staten Island, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
So talk a little bit about what was the thing that pushed you over and said that I want to jump into this race?
What pushed me over that made me want to jump into the race. I've always been interested in politics. I've helped out on a lot of local campaigns for Councilwoman Debbie Rose, for Borough President Tom Shabanko, where he was a candidate. Just getting involved. And I'm also a coordinator over at the Board of Elections. So I'm very politically involved. I'm very politically active. And what made me jump into the race is I went to the vigil of Erica Gardner, which was in January. And to hear different people stating that, their elected officials don't care about them, they don't matter. I wanted to jump into this race to prove that someone cares, someone matters, like you matter to me. And I'm in this for the right reasons. I'm in this for a community, for those that feel that they don't have a voice, that they're overlooked. And I'm just letting them know that you have an advocate and an ally in me.
And Bill, since Jasmine jumped into the race, she's earned the endorsement of the Working Family Party. Jasmine, talk about that.
Yes, that was a great honor and a privilege. I know that a lot of people, have requested and sought the support of working families. But for me, as a little political ingenue, to manage to get this is a great feat. And I'm very in sync with the beliefs, with the positions of working families. They were on the forefront of so many different progressive legislations, so many different political stance. They were very strongly against the Rockefeller laws. They took a very bold stance against it. Black Lives Matter. I mean, just different social injustice that they took a stand on, and they weren't afraid. And they're bold, and that's like me. I'm bold, and I'm unafraid.
Well, Jasmine, you must be bold and you must be unafraid, because to take on Diane Savino is no mean task. I mean, she's well entrenched in that district. She's got strong support for a long time, and she, frankly, she's quite popular. So I mean, tell us your gut feeling on that. I mean, it sounds like a kind of David and Goliath type of scenario here.
What about my chances? Do I think that I can win this? I can pull this off? Yes, I do.
Well, I know you think you can do that, or else you wouldn't run.
Yeah,
right?
no, I'm very confident. I've been speaking to different groups in Staten Island and in Brooklyn, and I know I have a shot. And people are ready for change. It's like what Mark Twain said. Politicians and dirty diapers need to be changed often and for the same reason. And it's time for our district to have its pampered change.
And Bill, I know, like you, Jasmine is a big critic of the Real Estate Board of New York.
Jasmine, tell us about your feelings with the Real Estate Board of New York, and of course.
Oh, don't hold back, right? Don't hold back.
And I'm going to throw you another one too, right? As a retiring iron worker, I got to ask you, where do you stand in terms of union construction in New York City?
All right. Well, I don't like REBNY. I call them. They are ravishing every borough in New York. They are ravagers. That's how I feel. They don't support the working class. They don't support the workers, I feel. There was also a situation where a young undocumented worker was killed at a work site, and they're trying to sweep that under the rug, not pay, not do the right thing. And I'm a strong supporter of unions. I feel very strongly that unions do place our fabric in our society. They protect the people. They're like me. They're bold. They stand up against the corporations, the elite, to say no, that we're not going to have you bulldog us and just give us scraps. And that's how I feel. I feel that I support unions. I support labor. Like I said, back in 1940, they were a huge part of the fabric of the restructuring of the Democratic Party. So do I feel that we need to support unions? Yes, we do. Do I support unions? 100%. Do they need to be protected at work? Yes, they do. Do they need their rights to be protected at all times? Yes, they do.
Okay, good for you. There was no waffling in that answer.
No, there's not. There's no waffling in anything in me.
Joe, we got to introduce Senator Ray Rogers and let them have a conversation about REBNY.
I think they know each other.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of REBNY. I'm sorry. I feel that they are they are holding our political process, our politicians hostage. They have them in a strong grip. They donate so much money to IDC, and I don't think that's fair. There's so many just outrageous, it just makes me so angry because, for example, there was a building that was designed, and apparently there was a separate entrance called the Pour Door.
Oh yeah, we know the Pour Door. Yep. You remember the Pour Door?
Yeah, the Pour Door, right?
We remember the Pour Door, yeah.
Right. I mean, and as someone that is of Black and Latino descent, that is horrible. It just puts me in a mindset of segregation. Where it was, blacks were allowed one section and whites were allowed in another. And in this time, we should not have, still have separate. It's not separate and equal. It's separate and unequal.
Jasmine, we have about 2 minutes left.
Yes, sir.
Can you dig into a little bit about, imagine that you are elected and you're in office and you look around, you see unions struggling, you see it's a fight against the race to the bottom. What kind of things do you want to do? What kind of things do you want to champion and get behind to try to directly combat that kind of stuff?
Well, unlike, my opponent, I'm really for unions, and whatever they need, I'm going to be there for them. So as far as collective bargaining, whatever I can use my office to do is what that I will do. As far as with unsafe conditions, benefits, whatever they need, that's what I'm going to push for. And if there's legislation that protects the unions, that supports the unions in any shape, way, or form, I'm going to be there and I'm going to push forward for that. And unlike others, I'm not going to be beholden or in bed with REBNY. I have no loyalty to them. And like Shirley Chisholm, I'm unbossed and unbrought.
So let people know if they want to support your candidacy, how they can reach out to you.
Yes. I'm on Facebook and I'm also on Twitter. I'm very active on Twitter. You can find me at Jazzy, Jasi Robinson, Robinson 34. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook, Jazzy Robinson. My website is coming up with this week. And I'm on Act Blue. So support me. Tweet me. If you want me to be somewhere, hit me up, and I'm there.
All right.
Because unlike the IDC, which I always call them IDC, which stands for I don't care, they don't care for their constituents. They don't care about that they're stalling progressive legislation, but I care.
All right, Jazzy Robinson we're talking to. We have to leave it there. Thanks a lot, and good luck to you in the race. You're listening to Labor Press's Blue Collar Buzz here on AM 970 The Answer. Stay tuned because we'll be back with more great talk.
You're listening to Labor Press on AM 970 The Answer.